It seemed that Sally is one of the few cars in Radiator Springs who has her life figured out. But everything is not always what it seems. Sally hides a big mystery, and only a few know about it. From the outside, she looks like a pretty normal car, but her backstory will leave you shocked. So, let's take a look at the history and evolution of Sally Carrera.
Holy Porsche.
Sally is completely inspired by a Porsche 911 Carrera, and hence her full name, Sally Carrera. She's painted blue and has chrome wheels and blue eyes. Something very curious that we can notice is that she has a black stripe tattoo on her back, which can be explained later in her backstory. And if you noticed, she is the only luxurious car that we can see in the small town of Radiator Springs.
She just likes me for my body.
But this wasn't the first design they had in mind for Sally. Pixar had planned to do it in a classic Porsche, but Bob Carlson convinced the Pixar team to turn it into a late model car.
God damn it, Gump! You're a goddamn genius!
To come up with this very specific design, the designers had the privilege of coming face to face and work with the real-life Porsche. This because Pixar wanted it to really look like a very luxurious car. But before they chose Sally to be a luxurious Porsche, the animators had in mind that she would be a Ford Mustang. But when it came to creating the design, they found that the front grille of the car looked like a mustache. For this reason, Sally became a rather striking Porsche. Sally, just because she's a lady, doesn't mean she's not fast. She can also compete and kick some butts on the track. Her top speed is 176 miles per hour, and she can go from 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds. And in case you didn't know, there were several times when Sally changed her blue tone to a lighter one. The first one was at Stanley's party, as she wanted to look presentable for the lighting McQueen and decided to make this change. As for the story that lives inside Cars, Sally was based on the true story of a girl named Dawn Welch. This girl, like Sally, was traveling with the hope of giving Route 66 a good promotion, and thus being able to gather support to keep it alive. A year later, Dawn Welch decided to buy the Rock Cafe located on Route 66, to later turn it into one of the most visited places. This served her well, as she managed to attract many people who found themselves fascinated when they entered this curious cafe. And within Cars, Sally's known for being the car that most cares about attracting people to Radiator Springs.
Customers, everyone! Customers! Welcome to Radiator Springs, gateway to Ornament Valley, legendary for its quality service and friendly hospitality.
And if she could, she would restore all Radiator Springs so that it would keep its essence. We're not told much about Sally's life, but apparently it wasn't as difficult as Mater's. She had the opportunity to be able to have a career and graduate as a lawyer. But even though Sally seemed to be a good citizen with manners and responsibilities, she also had her moments of craziness in her youth. As we said, Sally is the most luxurious car in all of Radiator Springs. But how did such an extravagant car end up in such a small town? As it seems, Sally was made to live in a city. And in fact, she worked as a lawyer in Los Angeles. Her life was under too much pressure, as she had to solve cases and couldn't rest for a moment. While living in Los Angeles, Sally never got married or had any love relationship, so she had nothing to stop her there. One day, without thinking about it and tired of her boring life, she decided to drive aimlessly at full speed. And unfortunately, she broke down right on Route 66. Fortunately, the good Doc Hudson took her to Radiator Springs to fix her up. From that first moment when Sally arrived at Radiator Springs, she was enchanted by how it looked. So she decided to stay and later become the owner of the Cozy Cone, which she restored to its original state. A pretty cool fun fact has to do with Sally's Cozy Cone Motel. Many of us would think that this idea came exclusively from the world of Cars. But the truth is that Pixar took inspiration from the Wigwam Motel, which is located in Arizona. But this wasn't all that this young lady set out to achieve. Because of her skills and sympathy, she also managed to become the official lawyer of Radiator Springs. And with all these new things, she gave a complete change to her life, making her happier.
Ka-chow.
There are a few things which Sally is ashamed of. One of them is the curious tattoo on her back. It is not known what this tattoo really means, but she probably got it in a moment of craziness in her youth. But her life got straightened out and everything seemed to be great. Until the Lightning McQueen appeared in her life. McQueen and Sally didn't meet each other in the best way, since McQueen, as we know, destroyed the main street of this small town, which is one of the things that Sally appreciated the most. So, she ended up very upset with the Lightning McQueen. But Sally's participation in front of the judge was very helpful in getting McQueen to take care of everything he caused in Radiator Springs. Doc Hudson wanted to get rid of McQueen completely.
If I want his hood on a platter, I'm gonna put him in jail till he rots.
Lighting, like a real show-off, was ready to conquer Sally. And he succeeded, because when he had his fatal accident, Sally stayed to take care of him and encourage him so he could recover. Sally gradually fell in love with the Lightning McQueen, seeing how he changed and how he went from a show-off to a kind person who cared for others.
So I thought I'd let you stay with me. Oh, not with me, but there. Not with me there, but there in your own cozy cone, and I'd be in my cone.
Sally and the Lightning McQueen finally have a formal date where they expose their feelings of love for each other. Mater feels excluded by the couple, and moreover, he feels ashamed for making McQueen lose the race. So he decides to walk away and gets involved in a spy mission. McQueen, when invited to the race in London, begins to feel jealous of his rival Francesco Bernoulli, as Sally openly expresses her attraction to this racer.
His name is
Francesco Bernoulli. No wonder there's a crowd.
Wait, why do you know his name?
But it is nothing important. In this film, Sally showed her unconditional support for McQueen, helping him fight the Lemons for their frauds. For Cars 3, Sally becomes the most important support for Lightning McQueen, as he feels disappointed to compete with Jackson Storm. But Sally always tries to cheer him up and tells him he's the best. But she was devastated to see the terrible accident that Lightning suffered. Despite this, Sally keeps encouraging him to compete. She manages to persuade him to continue in the race regardless of Storm's taunts. She was even so tired of Jackson that near the end of the race, when he taunts Cruz, she calls him
What a jerk.
Sally supported McQueen until the last moment, and she showed him that she truly appreciates and loves him. And for the true fans, Pixar and Porsche teamed up to bring this luxury car to real life. So now we have Sally in real life. But what do you think about Sally's story? Do you have any other fun facts? Leave them in the comments.